What is going on, guys? Sturmgeschütz here, and today I'm going to be starting a new series called Quick Guides. Now, these quick guides are my attempt to help make the World of Tanks community / player base a better place and improved in skill level. So without further ado, let's take a look at the T-54. Step 1 to using the T-54. Use your maneuverability. This tank exceeds the expectations of most players when you first fully upgrade this tank. Very fast. It's very good when it comes to maneuverability. It's probably the best tier 9 medium when it comes to maneuverability, with the exception of the Leopard prototype, which is, of course, a Leopard with no armor. This tank has some armor, but don't get too carried away with that armor. You will die. If you try to rush in there and abuse your maneuverability and your armor, it will not work out. As you can see, this T-54 just rushed right in there, spotted everybody, and unfortunately lived a very short life. Step 3. Go hull down. But don't go hull down in a place that requires a lot of gun depression, because being Russian, you don't have much gun depression, but you do have very good hull and turret armor. As you can see, that's me looking at another T-54's armor with standard armor piercing, and it was all red. But we'll get to that later. This tank has very good DPM, as you guys can see. Just eviscerate this T-54's health. Gone in next to like 30 seconds. And it can get pretty bouncy. An E-75 bounces off my back after hitting my tracks. This tank is very troll. It's the typical Russian troll armor. As you can see, just bounces like crazy. That brings us to the next step of wiggling your armor. Make sure you tilt, angle, and swerve to angle your armor, because it's very good and very thick when you do angle it. But unfortunately, as you guys are seeing right now, the gun is not very good. It bounces like crazy. So what you want to do is load heat. But before you load heat, as you guys can see, it makes a huge difference. Try to aim for weak spots. Now, I didn't get footage of me aiming for weak spots, but I can do it, because your gun, despite being Russian, is somewhat accurate. It's like 0.36 accuracy. Now, it's certainly no German, but it is pretty good for being a Russian gun. So I'd recommend aiming for weak spots before you go and spam heat like I'm doing in this whole video. After all, it's very expensive, very costly. I believe without running a premium account, on average, I've been losing about 34,000 credits. So, let's recap the T-54. Step 1. Use your maneuverability, outmaneuver enemy tanksters, heavy tanks, and even some medium tanks. Not only that, but you can also get to very advantageous spots quickly before the enemy does. Step 2. Do not abuse this maneuverability. You will die. Step 3. Use your DPM, damage per minute. It's very good, and even just recently they buffed the damage that this gun does, but didn't nerf the rate of fire, so in a way they buffed the DPM. Step 4. Use your armor, wiggle, turn, swerve, dodge, and weave. You get what I'm saying. Turn your armor, make it thicker, because angling actually increases the thickness. Step 5. Aim for weak spots. If the weak spots are still too thick for your gun to penetrate, or you can't hit them in general, load heat, because your heat makes a huge difference. But I must warn you, the heat is very expensive. So, that's the T-54. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope to see you guys on the battlefield. Happy hunting.